Being consistent isn't just about how many days of the week you track. It isn't about how many steps you're getting. It isn't about how much water you're eating. It's about checking in with yourself to see if you are overcommitting to certain things, if you are creating that pressure for yourself because you think you must, or you have this identity in always being busy.
Let's link up with Krista on the FYX. She's a wellness coach with a focus on mental well-being and physical strength.
What's up, FYX listeners? Welcome back to our latest episode of the FYX podcast. I'm your host, Krista Huber. Happy 4th of July Day weekend. If you are listening to this episode, the day that it drops, I've got your favorite little list for you to think about this weekend in a few different ways that have nothing to do with food. As I sat down to collect my notes and thoughts for this episode, I said to myself, there are so many episodes out there, many of which I've done around holiday eating, around events and how to think about pre-planning your meals and thinking about your portion sizes and prioritizing your protein. And I know if you're a longtime listener of the show, you have heard me say that time and again. I also know if you're newer to this show, you're not here just for conversations about food. Why? Because if it was as simple as knowing exactly what to eat and knowing what should and shouldn't be on your plate, you would already have the results by now. Because you can go on Google, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, ChatGPT, every single platform and get the answers to that. Like literally, you could stop this episode right now, go talk to our FYX kitchen coach, which is obviously programmed with our philosophies and protocols around nutrition and handling situations like this, and type in and say, if you were Krista and Coach Alyssa, how would you approach the 4th of July? And quite frankly, our clients are busy, they're productive, they have a lot going on in their day, that I would actually encourage you to do that rather than sit through this episode if I were going to talk about all those different strategies on your plate. So instead, I want to talk about all of the other aspects around your mindset, around your relationship to actually taking a break and regulating your nervous system, because that is arguably, if you're somebody who already knows how to track your food, who already knows the power of consistency, that's the piece that I truly think you're missing. So I came up with a list of just a few different things to consider as you prepare for this holiday weekend, and we're going to get right into them. And most of them have to do with reframing how you think about rest. And one of the reasons why this came up for me too is because I mentioned this in last week's episode, but talking to a lot of our clients about what are some of the things that either keep you stuck in the patterns that keep you stuck, or some of the actions and choices that you're making are propelling forward. A few recently have shared with us in their check-ins that a lot of it is just phone time, and recognizing that when they do have quiet time and want to slow down, it turns into the scroll that doesn't exactly make them feel good. And here inside of the Fitness FYX, our goal is to hold you to the higher standard of the highest version of yourself and how that version of you shows up. And that doesn't come down to solely thinking about how much protein's on your plate and you weighing out the total amount of, carbohydrates that you're going to consume at that 4th of July barbecue. It has a lot to do with how you think about yourself and the identity that you've shaped around yourself, as it has to do with taking a break. And for a lot of our clients, myself included, this is reflected back to me all the time. It is a challenge to slow down. There is a pressure to feel like we always have to show up. So that is the big theme throughout the rest of this list. So let's dive into it. Number 1, if you're taking a few days off over this weekend, remember that there is a difference between having the capacity to go do something and deciding to put it on your calendar, or better said, capacity does not equal calendar availability. So just because you're free doesn't mean you have the bandwidth. It doesn't mean you have to go do something. I would challenge you to audit. If you have free time this weekend, who are you spending it with and how are you spending it? It doesn't have to mean, oh yeah, like I'm going to go hang out with people that I feel obligated to spend time with, but it also doesn't mean you need to do like 17 different chores around your house and all this yard work and all these other things. Yeah, there is a level of feeling good about getting those things done when maybe you've been in a really busy season and you haven't had time to do them. But another one of the points I'm going to share here is to remind you that rest is actually productive. So I want you to think about a holiday weekend as a chance to express your own boundaries and really actually ask yourself, what do I want to do this weekend? For our moms out there in particular, you hear that a lot and you're like, I don't have the autonomy to make that decision of what do I want to do this weekend. I get it. But to a degree, you do. It comes down to communication with your partner. It comes down to really actually sitting with yourself and asking yourself, do I want to go to these certain events or do I feel obligated to go do certain things? Because you are in control of what that schedule actually looks like. You don't have to give that power up to all of the other people around you. And one of the things that we love about coaching inside of the Fitness Fix is creating the space for our clients to come to us and have that conversation of saying, hey, I am going to this event. It's not exactly what I want to do with my time. So how can I make the most of it and make the best decisions? So yes, it does come back to your food a little bit. But at the end of the day, I just want you to really consider the fact that being consistent isn't just about how many days of the week you track. It isn't about how many steps you're getting. It isn't about how much water you're eating. It's about checking in with yourself to see if you are overcommitting to certain things, if you are creating that pressure for yourself because you think you must, or you have this identity in always being busy. Number 2, this is the rest one. Take some inventory and ask yourself, what does rest actually look like to me? Because I am the queen of thinking about the fact that rest, I literally did this yesterday, was deep cleaning my apartment. Now, that technically is not rest. However, when I think about it in the context of, having a clean space, having this environment where I feel like everything is neat and organized. That does help me mentally feel my best going into the rest of the week. But I have gotten to a point in my life where I definitely was always the person who was like, this has to be done in this certain way every single week. And now I say to myself, you know what? It doesn't have to be done to a T. As long as things are neat and organized to a degree to where it's not like mentally weighing on me, it doesn't have to be a box that I check every single week. And that gives me a little space. It gives me a little breathing room to recognize that I don't need to actually do anything other than sit and truly rest and actually read a book and spend time with my friends without thinking of like, I need to go back and check the next thing off my to-do list. Or when I have a day where I am taking the space away from work, it means filling it with other work. Life responsibilities will always be there. But at the same time, when there's a holiday weekend, this is your good opportunity to take a pause and ask yourself, like, what really recharges you? Is it some quiet time? Is it movement? Is it maybe a different form of movement? If you're always strength training, is it getting a few more walks in? Is it quality time with people that you really care about and enjoying them and being super present? Regulating your nervous system, clear theme over the last several episodes, is truly like a partner to fat loss, a partner to tracking your food. It's not one or the other. It's really both together. And that rest time is a huge factor in making that happen for yourself. So yeah, you can track all the things in MyFitnessPal, but regulating your nervous system isn't going to show up in there. And yet having those two things together are really just the ultimate game changer. That partnership, that equation, that formula, whatever analogy you want to call it, that is the recipe for success. You don't have to earn rest as a reward. It is quite literally required for you to be the best version of yourself. Number 3, unstructured time may feel a little bit unsafe, but a holiday weekend is the perfect time to lean into it. Again, similar to number 2, those feelings of like needing to always be productive and needing to always get things done and check the boxes off can come from a place of convincing yourself that you're bad at relaxing, and you're not actually bad at relaxing. You just haven't practiced it without some of the guilt associated with it. So why not do it when maybe you do have that extra day off and you do know that, yeah, the to-do list that typically gets done on Saturdays, you can push it to Sunday if you're also off on Thursday, or even taking a few more days off this week. There is a level of anxiety that I experience personally over this idea of doing nothing. And the only way I have been able to get past that is to actively do nothing and then start to observe the thoughts that come up with it, which a lot of times feels pretty uncomfortable. And then I find myself feeling the silence of like, I'm going to listen to a podcast, or I'm going to get up and move. And yes, it's good to move your body, of course, but there is so much value in doing nothing to feel more connected to yourself, because that's going to build that internal safety of like that comfort of saying to yourself, I'm allowed to have this. It's not something that I need to earn as a reward. So think about this weekend and a holiday weekend and a long weekend, like your rehearsal. Again, these opportunities to actually take a breath without planning what that next thing looks like. Number 4, you are allowed to be boring. Are you sensing the theme here? Relaxation, laziness. Laziness is not a bad word. Maybe we even swap that out entirely. But there is an importance, again, I'm not going to go too much into detail on this one because I do feel like it's really similar to the previous two, of knowing that boredom is a positive thing, knowing that slowing down is a positive thing. And when you let your body rest, when you let your brain rest, when you let things actually slow down, that again comes back to regulating your nervous system, which is a massive part of this equation for fat loss. So maybe you need to remind yourself that being boring, if that feels uncomfortable for you, is kind of like an act of bravery to a degree, because if you're not in the mode of practicing it, there's going to be that resistance that comes up for you. And sure, maybe bravery is a little bit of an exaggeration, but if you're super wired to do something a certain way, it is going to feel difficult for you. And you're going to immediately kind of observe those negative thoughts. You're like, I have to be doing this, this, and this. That's your chance to challenge yourself. And remember, you don't have to believe every single thought that exists inside your own head. And the last one, remembering that play isn't just for kids. For those of you who have children and have that opportunity to be able to look at them and see them enjoy themselves, let that be a mirror back to you to say, I should indulge in things that are fun for me as well. And if for you, you've always defined fun as an adult around certain food choices, around certain drink choices, this is your chance to really take, once again, that word inventory of what is enjoyable for you. So are you going out and maybe doing activities that include movement that isn't just you going to your workout class? Maybe it's like, pickleball, tennis, golf, all those different types of things. Yes, it can still be as simple as going for a walk, but like taking the time to get back into that childlike play and reminding yourself that it doesn't matter how old you are, play should be a part of your life. That improves your recovery. It's going to regulate your cortisol. And it just reminds your body, like, it's okay to rest. It's okay to slow down. It's okay to feel safe and still move while you're doing it too. Still bring that joy back into everything that you're doing with. Like, let your inner child lead the show this weekend. Ask yourself, take a minute, be like, what's something I haven't done in a really long time that when I was a kid, I used to really enjoy it? Or when I had a little bit more space in my schedule 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, what was it? And ask yourself, when is the last time you've done that? And if it's been a couple months, if it's been a couple of years, take the space in your schedule this weekend to go ahead and do that. So like I said, brief, effective little episode, recapping these 5 things here. And then I want you to go out and have the best weekend ever. So first, just because you got the room on your calendar doesn't mean you have to say yes to it. Check in with yourself and ask yourself what rest actually looks like for you. Know that unstructured time, if it feels a little bit unsafe, this is your opportunity to practice it. You're allowed to be boring. You don't have to justify that. And lastly, play isn't just for kids. So again, go out, have an enjoyable weekend, have fun, be present in the moment. If that looks like you're tracking your food, great. If it looks like you're not tracking your food, you know our take on that. It's 1 day, it's 2 days. It's coming down to what you decide to do come Monday. That's going to make the difference in you not only achieving your fat loss goals, but doing so in a way that fits into your life and is something that is therefore enjoyable and therefore sustainable. So with that, happy 4th. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you guys next week.